Have you ever felt like there's something more to life, something beyond the physical world we interact with daily? Meet James, a man in the prime of his life, yet ensnared in the humdrum rhythm of his existence. He's like many of us, living a life that's more routine than reality, more obligations than opportunities. But within James, there's a growing sense of discontent, a gnawing hollowness that refuses to be ignored. The laughter doesn't reach his eyes, the joys don't touch his soul, and life, well, it just seems like a series of checkboxes to be ticked off. This dissatisfaction, this emptiness, begins to nudge James into uncharted territories of thought and introspection. He starts questioning the very essence of his existence. Is this all there is to life? Or is there a deeper purpose, a higher calling that he's yet to discover? These questions, once kindled, refuse to be extinguished, sparking a curiosity he has never known before. The idea of a spiritual awakening begins to take root in the fertile ground of his unrest. It's a vague, nebulous concept to him, like trying to grasp the shape of clouds or the color of the wind. Yet it calls to him, whispering promises of peace, of enlightenment, of a life lived in harmony with the universe. But what does a spiritual awakening even mean? To James, it's an elusive beacon in the fog of his discontent. A promise of breaking free from the shackles of his mundane existence, of finding a path that leads to a profound understanding of himself and the world around him. It's a journey into the unknown, a dive into the deep end of the pool of consciousness. And so, driven by a deep yearning for meaning, James embarked on his spiritual journey. A journey that promises to be as challenging as it is enlightening, as transformative as it is liberating. A journey that begins with a single step, a single question, a single spark. A journey into the heart of existence itself. So strap in, folks, because we're about to embark on a ride that promises to be nothing short of extraordinary. What happens when we start to question the very fabric of our existence? This is where our friend James found himself, poised on the precipice of a spiritual awakening. James embarked on a journey of exploration, an odyssey into the vast, uncharted territories of spiritual practices. He dived headfirst into meditation, yoga, solitude, and the reading of ancient spiritual texts. Each practice, a different path leading towards the same destination of self-discovery. Imagine the challenge of meditation. The relentless chatter of the mind like a busy market square, each thought vying for attention. James wrestled with the noise, striving to find the elusive silence. It was like trying to calm a stormy sea, each wave a distracting thought. But with patience and persistence, he began to experience fleeting moments of tranquility, tiny islands of calm in the tumultuous ocean of his mind. Next, he delved into yoga, a physical practice that demanded more than just flexibility. It was a struggle, a dance between strength and surrender. The initial discomfort was jarring, the poses awkward, but as he persevered, his body began to move with more grace and ease, like a river flowing smoothly around the rocks in its path. Solitude, another stop on his journey, was initially a daunting prospect. Loneliness crept in, like an unwelcome guest. But as he sat with his own company, he discovered a newfound appreciation for his own thoughts and feelings. He began to realize that solitude is not loneliness, but a quiet conversation with your own soul. The reading of spiritual texts, though initially confusing, became a source of inspiration and wisdom. These ancient words, like coded messages from the past, slowly began to reveal their secrets. He wrestled with their meaning and emerged with a deeper understanding of his own existence. In the midst of his struggles, James started noticing subtle changes within himself. He was not just surviving the journey, he was evolving, transforming. Each struggle, each challenge was a stepping stone leading him towards a greater understanding of himself and the universe around him. How does one know they are on the path to spiritual awakening? As James delved deeper into his journey, he began to notice subtle shifts within himself. Shifts that would ultimately transform his entire existence. His mind, once a tempest of thoughts and worries, started to calm. The constant chatter of anxiety and fear was replaced by a serene peace that he had never experienced before. It was as if he had been walking through a storm all his life, only to suddenly find himself in the eye of it, calm, still, and tranquil. Alongside this newfound peace came a heightened awareness. James found himself more attuned to his surroundings, more present in the moment. He began to notice the chirping of the birds, the rustling of the leaves, and the scent of the earth after a light rain. Every sound, every sight, every sensation seemed amplified, as if he was experiencing the world in high definition for the first time. But perhaps the most profound change was the sense of connectedness he felt. He began to realize that he was not separate from the world around him, but a part of it. He felt a deep kinship with all living beings, a sense of empathy and compassion he had not known before. He found himself moved by the plight of a stray dog or the sight of a wilting flower. His heart ached for the suffering in the world, yet it also rejoiced in its beauty. James started viewing life from a different perspective. He found purpose and beauty in the smallest of things, in the dew on a spider's web, in the laughter of a child, in the kindness of a stranger. Life was no longer a series of tasks to be completed, but a dance to be enjoyed, a song to be sung. James was beginning to understand that spiritual awakening was not a destination, but a journey. It was not about reaching a particular state of enlightenment, but about continuously growing, learning, and evolving. It was about embracing the mystery of existence and finding joy in the journey itself. What is the ultimate realization in the path of spiritual awakening? This question has been the compass guiding James through his inward journey. As we delve deeper into his narrative, we find James at a significant turn in his path. In the silence, amidst the chaos, James discovers a profound truth. He realizes that he is not an isolated entity, not a solitary speck in the vast cosmos. Instead, he is an integral part of this grand design, a part of the universe, woven into the fabric of existence itself. This realization, profound and humbling, brings about a seismic shift in his perspective. This understanding illuminates his mind, and he sees the interconnectedness of all things. He sees that every action, every thought, every breath he takes ripples through the universe, affecting everything and everyone. He is not separate from the world around him, but a part of it, a participant in its ebb and flow. With this understanding, James experiences a profound sense of peace, not a fleeting, momentary peace, but a deep, abiding tranquility that permeates his being. He realizes that this peace does not come from external factors, not from the material world, but from within himself. His search for tranquility outside himself had been futile, for he carried the source of peace within him all along. This realization brings about a profound sense of contentment within James. He no longer seeks validation from the world outside. Instead, he finds fulfillment in his connection with the universe, in the knowledge that he is an integral part of this grand cosmic dance. He no longer feels adrift, but anchored, grounded in his newfound understanding. This is the ultimate realization in the path of spiritual awakening. It's not about transcending the world, but understanding our place within it, recognizing our interconnectedness with the universe. It's about finding peace, not in external factors, but within ourselves. James had finally found the peace he was seeking, not in external factors, but within himself. This is the realization that has transformed James, that has guided him towards a path of peace and contentment. This is the realization that forms the cornerstone of spiritual awakening. So, what does life look like after spiritual awakening? In the aftermath of his profound transformation, James's life has taken on a new luminosity. He now exists in a world where every moment is savored, where every experience is cherished as if it were the first and the last. The clutter of the past, the chaos of his mind, they've all been swept away, replaced by a tranquil sense of peace and harmony. James is no longer a prisoner of his past, nor a captive of the future. He breathes in the present, living each moment in its fullness. His days are filled not with the noise of worry, but with the music of mindfulness. Each breath he takes, each step he makes, radiates an energy of peace and positivity that touches everyone around him. James's journey reminds us that spiritual awakening is not about seeking something outside of us, but discovering the divinity within.